Welcome to the Become Sensible podcast, where we discuss practical accounting, finance, and tax for everyday business. I'm your host, Fiona, and I'm here to show you that no matter what your business financial situation is, you can change it. Good morning. Welcome to Become Sensible, where we discuss about practical business finance tax for business owners and help you to achieve your financial and business success. So today we discuss about a topic that I believe is on top of many business owners' mind and like startup business owners. That is how to be get ready for the tax season because tax season is coming upon us in like a month or so, and so I think this is will be like super helpful episode for you to get ready for the tax season. So let's dive in. Let's discuss about why the tax season is so overwhelming for many business owners and also like for individual too. Number one is psychology factor. So because taxes come with compliance obligations, and whether we like you have a huge tax bill coming in and you didn't like get prepared for in terms of cash flow to pay for that tax bill, or you need to face like whether the decision like you should do this, you should do that, or which CPA or accountant that you need to like move forward. Should you switch? Should you not? Should you do yourself or should you hire someone? It's just multiple many decision, and that's normally make many business owners like say, okay, this is overwhelming and just put this away. Doing nothing also means that you make the choice and the decision that you do nothing. But I know that sometimes it's just so many information and important thing that you end up like, okay, I don't know what to do here, and so I just be like still and frozen because of a lot of things that you need to like handle. And the second thing is, I think, like practical challenge that is if you have a multiple income stream like from the business and then from personal, and then you have a rental property, you have an investment, you have a multiple different stream of incomes, and sometimes that is overwhelming of information for you to be like, okay, well, which tax form that I need and whether I miss any tax form at all. And then like all the tax regulation are complex about like tax deductions, changing tax rule, and then finally is tax deadline. Everything related to taxes all have the deadline go with it, and you say, okay, which day I need to do what and when will be like the time that I need to follow the compliance deadline. Because of all of this, I totally understand and I feel empathy and understanding, because we tech professional, we know exactly like timeline and all of the things because we spend a lot of years to learn and to do this work. So I feel like very understanding and compassion towards like the overwhelming that you have. So I think that here we have a couple of things that I think is will be super helpful for you as the way that you can help you like to navigate this tax season. And if like this year 2025 is a year that you say, okay, I'm done with overwhelming in my tax, in my business financial, in my accounting, in my personal finance, and I need to get over this and I need everything related to my finance and tax to be controlled, then I hope this episode will be like give you a very practical guidelines so that you can like tackle the challenge of tax head on. You say, okay, got it, and I just will move forward how to handle with this. Okay, so number one in terms of like core preparation strategy. Number one, this is called documentations management system. You should have like a folder on your computers, your Google Drive, Dropbox, or anywhere that you say the document. If your business has a sizable and have you have a bookkeeper, you have an accounting team, normally regularly they would need to like create a folder called vendor payment. and then put it in those things, like anything that you use by wirings, you pay by checks, any payment towards your vendor, you have the folder and you name it, and you put the invoice that they send to you and the receipt payment or a payment confirmation on that. Normally, if your business is sizable, these things need to be taken into the place. But if it hasn't, you should have your team or yourself. If you do your own, or your bookkeeper didn't do that, then create a folder, revenue document. It's mean the invoice that you send to the people. The second thing is spend receipts, like all disbursement towards like your vendors payment, your contractors, or any receipts like major payments like from like $100 above. You need to have a receipt. But of course, like $10, $5 is not gonna be like majors. I think the majority like material on your financials, your tax return. But most of the time, anything that is major payment, you need to have a receipt backup for that. Anything related to your vehicles, like your mileage, normally, if your work that require a lot of driving, I suggest you use the app called Mileage IQ, and you download the app. Anytime that you drive related to your business situation, you just turn it on, and it's measured at the end of the year and run the report for you. You can know you know exactly how much is the mile that you drive. Normally, we put it as the name of the vendors, and then in that, if you have many vendors like recurrence or your contractor or like major suppliers, people, then you create a folder and you name for like vendor A, and then I have a multiple different month, and then so you see like save all this backup document. Number two is relate to the document, any tax form from the government or like from your vendors, your customer, they issue for you. Like for example, like 1099 K that you use like processing company like Stripe, Squarespace, or any processing credit card company, they issue the 1099 K for you for your business. Save all of this document as the backup document, or any like if you have an investment portfolio, it will give you consolidated 1099. Or like if you have a rental property, if you buy a rental property, your especially in commercial, they will issue for you, your tenant will issue for you normally like 1099 miscellaneous for the rent payment that they have. So let's save all of these document 1099 is very important, because it's like if you don't report matching with these 1099, you will have a problem, because the IRS will coming back say, hey, it's not matching with total, like you missed one 1099 that already report your income, but you didn't put it into your tax return because you don't remember it. So normally by January 31st or like first week of February, these tax forms start coming in, and you just should like put it everything in all together and put it into the folder. So when you send a document to your accountant, they have all the document to prepare your tax return. So like if you don't send a document, unless your transaction every year is the same thing, your accountant wouldn't know where's your K1s, where's your 1099. They, based on last year records, they can check it. But if like this year you have anything new, they wouldn't know. And of course, the perfect time to prepare for tax is actually throughout the year. But of course, if you're not, this is the time that how to collect all the information together. In terms of financial records, because you run the business, if you have a single member LLC, a partnership, multiple member LLC, a S corporation, a C corporation, these business entity need to have a financial report, whether that is profit and loss, that is balance sheet. Most of the time, the business entity that S corporation, C corporation, and partnership need to have a balance sheet. And I think the balances is one of the most where regular bookkeeper will make the mistake, because to make a balances, to do a balances correctly, you need to follow like accounting financial report standard. And because they normally don't understand there's the relationship between profit and loss and balance sheet. All of these information from profit and loss many of them will flow into the balance sheet. And because they don't understand the part of it, how this flowing, they normally make the balances wrong. So that is why you need to make sure to have both profit and loss and balances if you have this business entity, and make sure your accountant will verify the balance sheet. If this is wrong, they let you know or your bookkeeper know. And that is why I always advise about this importance of a bookkeeper, because people didn't go to years of education in terms of accounting and didn't spend a year to actually work in accounting, and now they start the business as a bookkeeper. What they make a lot of mistake is on the balance sheet. And because you as the business owner, you not aware that the balance sheet is incorrect. And then you just hire an accountant, a CPA, and tax prepare for the tax part. But like if your CPA is very thorough, they will tell you that the balances is wrong. But because it's make up by your bookkeeper, they can say that okay, this is wrong, this wrong, this wrong. They recommend the change. But whether your bookkeeper understand to make that change, that is up on that part. And that is why I always say people always think about cost saving. But I tell you this, the cost that you make is wrong on the balances and tax return, especially your business if it's S corporation, C corporation, and partnership, is tremendous. So don't actually try to discount like people who charge like $200 per month for bookkeeping, even like $300. Like they don't actually do things terribly at all. So you need to make sure that hire someone actually have a years of experience. And if you can hire an accounting company that have a CPA in it, that who can review the financial report, especially the balances. And if your business is doing sizable business in terms of revenue and complexity in terms of transaction, don't actually try to save on this part, because if it's wrong, it's wrong. And I saw it all the time. People coming in, the balances is not correct and information is everywhere. They're supposed to get that. Depreciation deduction, they didn't because the tax preparer didn't make a notice on it. The bookkeeper didn't know how to do that right. And then their tax return was wrong. And I mean, like, if you lose the deduction, like $25,000 of deduction, that's just thousands of dollars in terms of tax saving that you lose. And people always say, like, okay, why you charge like $100, 200 more in terms of bookkeeping? Because end of the day, the work itself is paid for everything and it saves you more in terms of tax. So make sure again, is make sure that your financial report is correct and review it and ask the question and make sure like if they don't know how to do it and they not do it wrong, find someone else have an expertise to do this, because the money that you save in terms doing it right more than the cost itself. I can say to you like it will be at least 2-3 times more than the cost itself if you hire the right people to do the work for you. Okay, so that's its income of financial report, and this information it will go into your tax return. The last part of financial report information, that is the W-2 and 1099. And I can tell you this, W-2 is a pen for many bookkeeper and a pen for many business owners, because it is complex. It have a tax go with it. And I tell you, there's so many profit and loss that I received from the bookkeeper, and the salary on the profit and loss didn't match with total W-2 that was report, and they couldn't figure it out. But if it's not matching with what you report, total W-2 and W-3, that report to the IRS, it is wrong. It's basically wrong regardless how you book the transaction in the system. It just so exactly that it's wrong. So need to pay attention on it. And we spend a lot of time to correct people on these things. So I just want to give it out for you to like make sure you as a business owner, of course, you not supposed to know everything, but this is to help you to better navigate the tax season. That is super helpful for you. The next one is talk about like think about maximize your tax deduction. And normally the best time to do is during the tax year. Is it during the tax year? Like for example, if you do the 2024 tax return, which is we about to file in the next couple months, if you taking care like in October, November, December, you already good to go. And many of our clients in that situation. But if you didn't, this time make sure that you talk to your CPA or accountant, make sure that you maximize your deduction and ask them to have that part for you, whether that is a retirement contribution, whether that is vehicle expense, section 179, or anything else that will be helpful for your tax situation. Ask them to help you with it. If you find any accountant that only do fill in the information and not give you any advice for you in terms of tax, I don't think that is like the best accountant. And then, so now how to implement all of this? Of course, in the ideal situation, you prepare for the tax season all year long. At least every quarter, you double check all of these things, whether you have document in place, whether your financial report is correct, whether your tax deduction is the tax maximization tax strategy actually work for your tax situation. Because there's some couple of things that you can do it during the year, but you cannot do after the year was done. So that is the best time. But if you didn't, you need to review all of it, like major budgets, review your document, get your financial, and ask your staff, your bookkeeper, and make sure your compliant document is there. And get document ready and prepare for the tax season very soon. You should start by the end of January. Number three, is know when the tax deadline is. So all anything related to payroll, which is 1099, W2, 941 form, 940 form. 941 is quarterly tax report to the IRS. So the last quarter is due by I think like the end of this month. I think on the 15th. And then 940 is due by the end of this month, which is to report totally federal unemployment insurance. And then we have a state withholding report. Then we have a state unemployment report. So these things it need to be report, and contractor payment 1099 it need to be report by the end of January 31st. When you get it, it is the first hurdle in terms of tax. The next one is if your business is partnership, S corporation, it needs to be your tax due on March 15. And also, if you want to select your single member LLC become an S corporation, this also like the best deadline for this year 2025. So if you want 2025 your single member LLC or partnership become an S corporation, then this is the time that you need to do is on time, like March 15. If you don't submit the form to select an S corporation, you will miss the deadline. And if you submit later, they will be effective for next year. And this is where many people make mistake. And if you submit the form, make sure you fax it, you mail it by certified mail so that you have a record that you send the document to the government because it's lost. Many times they don't receive it and they don't give you that effective in terms of tax structure. And then talk about like you need to have a more like technologies and tool and that help you to like manage everything is together. If your business is sizable and you have a lot of your staff like need to travel, like start traveling and you need to track all of this, there is the app that you can use, your staff can use submit the receipt and expense reimbursement. One of them is called Expensify, and your staff can just take the picture of receipt and submit it on, and it's flow to you to like approve. And so this is like if you have a backup document all the time, you can download it, or your staff can download it and save in the right place. Anything that mileage, you have a mileage IQ to download it and track it if you need to travel and drive by mileage. And then have a like accounting software. I know, I understand it. eventually, like of course, when you start, you try to save the money in terms of accounting solution and software. You can use the spreadsheets, a Google sheet to like put in all this information. But if you're scaling the business, you, the more your operation is spent, the complexity come with financial records, tax compliance. So I always advise to you an accounting system that help you like do this thing correctly, because they don't pay attention on your tax situation until you become like a little bit like more in terms of financial record. And so that is all for how to get ready and not stress during the tax season. So finally, we summarize all together what it is. Start the organization now. Schedule with a consultant, like a accounting company, a CPA that who understand the whole process. They give you advice. And I tell you this, like many people say, oh, I just can search the information on Google, like even like Chat GPT to ask the question. I tell you this, the information is only information. It's not become the solution. You need to like utilize the information and knowledge in multiple time and it become a practical experience. You spend hours to research this thing on Google or chat gpt. You're a good professional, a good CPA can answer for you in 15 minutes and it directly solution for you. So don't actually waste 4 hours just to research this thing. Research delay your process and take you a lot of time. So make sure that you schedule with a professional. Have your system in the place, and if you need a tax checklist on our website, also have a tax checklist. You can download this, and it's give you the basics, all the information, and detail how you can get ready for the tax season. The document you need, what kind of financial record that you need. At the end of the day, we professional like CPA accountant, we be here to help you. But if we don't have all the information from you, it's very hard for us to do the thing right. And of course, I totally understand that you always overwhelming with the information and the thing that you need to get ready. But the best way to tackle challenges or overwhelming is what? Of course, take a deep breath in terms of philosophy. But you need to take the first action, the first step. And the more you do it, and if you find someone very good in guidance, the work, I like help you and support guidance you how to like move forward. That will be the best solution for you. I hope this episode will be helpful for you to prepare for the tax season. Please rate us and send us your questions and let us know what can we do to help you. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. Bye bye.